and welcome to my channel. It's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids147, and I'm going to do a WIP chat. Now, if you do want to see like my full progress of my heaven and earth designs, I have put a picture up on the Facebook group, which will be linked below, of the image so far. For those of you with keen eyes, I haven't done any since I last did this bit with you guys, but we're due a WIP chat. We're always due a WIP chat, so I thought I'd just do the next section with you guys. Why not? Now, I also thought, and I asked quite a few days ago for questions from people that they wanted to ask in regards to my diamond painting. Sorry, I'm just going to tip this up one because the lights are shining on it too much for me. So I will be... Why is it not letting me highlight? Because I haven't selected a colour. Nah. Sorry, I'm just having a moment. So, can you tell this is a rushed WIP chat rather than a planned WIP chat? So sorry, yeah, I did ask for questions from people on my Facebook group, and I have pulled a few common questions. That's about as far as I've planned. What my intention is, and please don't hold me to this because we all know it doesn't always happen, is I want to try and make WIP chats a little bit more regular. I know people do enjoy them, and it gives me a good chance to answer questions that people may have. Let me just zoom you in a little bit so you can still see what I'm doing on Pattern Keeper. But yeah, I am hoping to do them a little bit more regular. It might not always be my heaven and earth designs. I might try and bring in some other diamond painting, maybe the one I'm currently working on, or some other sort of projects, but I'm going to try and do them a little bit more regularly. I do tend to film a lot in bulk, so people may see videos going up of, say, me kitting up for a diamond painting, and then possibly a few days later they will see it done. Sometimes it does take me only a few days to do a diamond painting. Sometimes it does take me longer, but because of the other videos I've already got or have got scheduled, there's sometimes you'll find that I've had to push back the kitting up a little bit later than I've done it, and actually the gap's not quite the same. I want to keep putting up content, and sometimes life is busier some weeks than others, so by not putting up everything as soon as I film it, but putting it up, I mean at the minute it's one a day, but by putting it up in some sort of pattern, it means that I can keep making sure that the YouTube channel's got something, even if life gets in the way. But I'm going to filter in these WIP chats, so these WIP chats of some form will be within a day or so of them actually being filmed. So I'm going to slot them into the schedule earlier than other videos may have been filmed. So just bear that in mind when you're watching my videos. Sometimes I may discuss, I know I've got a video coming up where I mention the fact that IKEA's not open. By the time the video is going to go up, IKEA was open, but when I filmed it, it wasn't. So that's a little bit of a sort of back information to my channel. So I'm currently using a pen that I was gifted by a subscriber. This unboxing has gone up as I've done this. Absolute, you know, gratitude to everybody that has sent me diamonds and even extra goodies, but huge gratitude to people that have sent me diamonds for this project. it has helped immensely. I now only have currently one colour that has a gap, and I did have 3 or 4, but I've managed to fill gaps further up, which has been so much easier. Trying to fill the gaps after I've done it is actually harder than I thought it would be, and I think that's sometimes what slowed me down, is the gaps were getting a little bit too overwhelming, getting a little bit too much, so I didn't do it for fear of having too many gaps than I could cope with. One of the things I do get asked a lot is, what diamonds do you need? And I really appreciate people asking. I will post a list on my Facebook group of the diamonds that I'm currently short of. So there's one colour that I've run out of, but then there are other colours that I'm short of to pretty much complete the design. There are some that I'm not sure. I don't tend to put those on my list until it comes to the point where I know whether I'll need them. I don't want people to be spending money and time on shipping stuff if it ends up not being needed. So yeah, go and join my Facebook group if you want to know. A few people have emailed me as well. Yeah, if you're on my Facebook group, great. If you're not, because I know some people aren't on Facebook, and that's fair enough, just bob me another email. I'll have the post up pretty much when this WIP and chat goes up. I should have got myself organised enough, I hope, to be able to put that post up. So if for any reason you don't do Facebook, but you've got my email address, then by all means bob me an email and I will reply to that. So I do have a list of questions. I will go through those in a moment. For those that are unsure what on earth it is that I'm doing, which is actually one of the common questions, what is a HAED? So a HAED is Heaven and Earth Designs. It is a company that produces cross-stitch designs, and that is what I'm working on. I am working on a cross-stitch pattern, but instead of a cross-stitch, I'm doing a diamond. It's not for everybody. It's definitely more challenging than a diamond painting, but I like the fact that it does give you a different type of challenge. So I am working on Little Dreamer's Tree, which I chose to work on in max colour. So that is the maximum amount of colours that the image can have. And I did that because the more colours, the less of each colour you need. And I am doing this painting primarily from my spare diamonds. And some of my subscribers' spare diamonds. So yeah, I have bought a couple of colours, but more often than not, these diamonds are left over from other diamond paintings, and I'm using those to create this image. So this one is a huge one. It is 30 or 40 centimetres across, 2.5 metres long. So it is taller than me. Does it have a home? No. It has nowhere that it's going when it's done. I don't think I have a wall tall enough. I'm doing this purely for the enjoyment, and feeling like I get to use my spares up. So when I start each section, I tend to work in a 30 by 20 block. That's what I find works for me, because that's what I find is a nice size on my screen from Pattern Keeper, so I don't have to be moving here, there and everywhere. And quite often I start, if there's a fair few, I'll start with the likes of 939 or potentially 310, because it gives me reference points. that are already done, and it's in a nice dark colour. The symbol is a square, so if it'll focus, so 939 is a block square symbol, so it's quite nice to colour those in straight off. They look nearly coloured in anyway, so I like to colour those in, and that gives me a reference point. Is that going to focus? Come on, there we go. And then I tend to work by colour now. It's a lot easier, I find, in this app, because I'm not having to switch between searching for a symbol and highlighting the symbol. I can use my key down the side and I can just go down each one. Plus the colours in this painting I have in 4 different cases. So I have these 60 bottle cases, I have 4 of them. So it's a lot easier to work on those one at a time. So by going in number order, that's what I'm doing. So I think that explains what I'm doing. I do try and just, if there's only a few of the colour, I do just try and only tip out a couple, because otherwise you spend your life tipping them out and tipping them back in. And on this symbol, while there's a lot highlighted, in the block I'm working on, this 60 by 20, there is actually only 2. All the rest are just round the edges. So, and when we move on, it highlights the colour. So 300, for example, we've only got 1 of those. So if I can get away with it, I will just dip my pen in and pick 1 up. Or in this case, because I've recently put wax on, it's picked 2 up. So I'll kick 1 of those off. And this allows me to just go straight between colours, just tapping. All I've got up there is the highlighter button, and it will stay on the highlighter button, so I can move from colour to colour without messing about. So 310. This is where this 310 is very full, because I've recently put a diamond painting away. That's where I try not to tip out too many, because I could make a mess. So yeah, that is a lot of questions I get. I think that's all the questions I get about my Heaven and Earth designs. About this one, anyway. I have got some other questions relating to Heaven and Earth designs, but the app I use is called Pattern Keeper. It is not available on Apple. It is not available on iOS. They do not have a date. They don't have a firm date. And as far as I'm aware, now there is a Facebook group for them, but as far as I'm aware, they have a very, expected, projected, they're talking a good while. They're talking at least a year, I think, for it to come out. So if it is something that you really, really want, like I did, because my PDF viewer, they did an update and it stopped working as well, then I bought an Android tablet, and all it is used for is Pattern Keeper. I don't know anything else on it. It is purely to be able to use for my Heaven and Earth designs. It doesn't accept all formats of cross-stitch chart, but the Facebook group will tell you which ones it does. But it is, it's made this so much quicker and so much easier to do. It also tells you when it counts down your stitches. So for anybody that's interested, so far I have done 86 stitches, and I've just realised that there's one of these down here as well. So I have now done 87 stitches, which is diamonds, today. And overall I have done 30% of this Heaven and Earth designs. So it's quite nice. It tracks, I think the stitches track until either 2 or 4 in the morning, in case you're a late night stitcher, and then it resets so that you get a counter each day if it's something that you do each day. So that's quite nice. Let me just get 2 of these tipping out. But yeah, it is only available on Android. And there is a Facebook group. So if Facebook is something you've got access to, it's worth having a nosy on there. Joining the group, having a read. It should answer most of your common questions. If you've got any more, you know, they will be able to. There are many members on there that are extremely helpful and are much better at this app than me. But I found what works for me now is doing the block of 939 and then going down by number. I find much easier than having all my cases out and trying to figure out where all the diamonds are that I need. And it did mean that I could take this into my front room for a while. So the last, before the last WIP and Chat, the last batch that I got done was a nice decent chunk. And that was because of this app and because I was only working with one case in my front room each time. It meant that I could do it on the couch. And that's also why I picked this design as well, was the thought I did want to be able to do it in the front room, because that's mainly where I diamond paint. And I partly picked this design because while it needs to be rolled up on both sides, it's not too wide. I'm not fighting with it too much. So, couple of other favourite questions on Heaven and Earth designs. We'll answer them all first because we're on a Heaven and Earth design roll. Is, would you consider doing another Heaven and Earth designs? At first, my immediate response was, I need to finish this one. I'm 30% done, but I need to finish this one. But then I was like, actually, yeah, I would. I think it would be nice to have another one. And the main reason for this is one of the other most popular questions is, would you consider, or are you going to do a video on ordering a Heaven and Earth design, so from the beginning to the end? The answer to that one is yes. It is something that is asked for a lot. There are a lot of questions about, you know, what you can do if you've not got spare diamonds and stuff like that. So yes, I will be looking at doing a video on ordering a Heaven and Earth designs. And I'm not sure when it will be, because of work commitments. It will be quite a long and potentially bitty video. I may do it more along the lines of how you can get it ordered than actually ordering as well. I'm unsure, because I did start having a browse on the Heaven and Earth Designs website, because that first part is what takes a lot of time, is picking your pattern. So I did start having, you know, a look. And to go back to the question, would you do another one? I did see one that was, they did it in a mini, but it only had about 9 colours, but they were like, a lot of it was black and grey. It was a black and white image and a lot of it was white. And I'm thinking, I have a lot of 310s spare. So yes, I may do another Heaven and Earth designs. It may be along the lines of still using spares, but I will also, yes, I will do a video on ordering a Heaven and Earth design, and that will not necessarily be based on having spares, because not everybody does. Not everybody is happy with the fact that the DMC numbers can be slightly different. I always, from doing diamond painting for a bit before I did this design, hang on a mo, sorry, just a quick visit from my daughter. I can't remember where I was now because she was talking to me. Yeah, so to answer the question, would you consider doing another Heaven and Earth designs? Yes. I will potentially also do that one with spares, or primarily with spares, but I might do the mini with the black and white. I do like the idea of it being less colours, so in effect it would be quicker because I'm not tipping out colours all the time, but also with it being quite dark colours, I don't think there's going to be as much shading variant as you get with, say, greens or pinks. But I will also, are you going to do the Heaven and Earth process? Yes. I say I'm not sure when that will be. I'm not sure how is best to record some elements of it. And I need to do some research on where is good places to get diamonds from. I want to give you know, a fair answers on that. I wouldn't want to recommend, for example, just one place and people have bad experiences from them, because that's not nice. So I would like to find a few options of what places people have purchased from and found is good. But yeah, I will do a video on it. If you're wanting to get started quicker than I can do a video, then please check out the Heaven and Earth Designs Facebook page. They have a file section, and somebody has put the time and the effort into creating a Word document that tells you how to work out your canvas size, how to work out how many packets of diamonds that you need. You know, they've even done Excel spreadsheets that you can put in the colours you need and how many of each colour that you need, and it tells you how many packs. You know, there are loads and loads of resources over there, so please do go check them out if that's something that you are considering, because they can probably even give you more detail and more answers than a video I do will. Sorry if you hear any noises as well. My daughter's currently doing arts and crafts in her room, which is what she came down to show me. She did some watercolouring, but that also involves shuffling a load of boxes from under her bed, and she's got wooden flooring, so it echoes. But anyway, so yeah, I think that is all the Heaven and Earth design questions that I have. Any more questions that you have that I've not answered, if I've not covered enough on one thing or on another, then please pop it in the comments below on this WIP Chat, and I'll use that for the next WIP Chat. It won't necessarily be a Heaven and Earth design WIP Chats. You'll have to just keep your eye out for any WIP Chats, and I'll answer questions on each one as we go along. Yeah, and I'll try and cover everything. Sorry, I'm trying to find out what's the next colour. See, I've got two there that I don't need anymore because I actually emptied the bottles. Also, if anybody wants to know about these stickers, I have done a video on how I created these, but I made these for this design. A lot of people have asked for the PDF of this so they can do their own. Oh, I'm just going to switch my boxes out because I've finished with that box, finished with the orange one, and now I'm on the green one. I'm going to see if I can get that file uploaded onto the Facebook group and maybe start some sort of, you know, section where you know, people can share maybe labels that they've made for certain designs. But yeah, I'll see if I can get it on there. If not, you can bob me an email, and that is 4kids@147, as the title of my Facebook group is. Sorry, not my YouTube channel is, with the numbers. Number 4 kids at as the word, and then 147 as the numbers, at gmail.com. It does sometimes take me a bit to remember to respond to emails. I seem to be a lot better at keeping my work inbox clear than I am at sorting out my own, but I will end up replying to you, so bear with. Okay, that also comes to another question. What is WIP? WIP. There's a few different sort of acronyms that we use in diamond painting, and if you're new, you may not know what they are. But WIP, WIP, stands for work in progress. So this is currently a work in progress, and I'm chatting to you, so that's why this is titled a WIP and chat. You'll also find that these can be called diamonds, or they can be called drills, or sometimes I even call them beads. Don't ask me why. It's normally just diamonds or drills. If my brain engages before I say it, then it's diamonds or drills. If it doesn't engage, then I call them beads. So yeah, and the pink stuff is called wax. Occasionally people will call it putty, but it's wax, is the main name for it. I'm trying to think if there's any other sort of things that we tend to show. Well, there's Heaven and Earth Designs, HAED, it gets shortened to. Can't think of any others off the top of my head, but that is a common question, is what do you mean by WIP and chat? And that's it, work in progress and chat. So, what's the next question? Oh, this is a good one. What would you change, or is there anything you wish you'd done differently from the start? It's a very good question. It's a very tough question as well. So, I think I personally put off getting a light pad for far too long. It's not that I could see the diamond paintings, you know, clear enough to do it, even at night time. Like, you know, there was the occasion where it was like, but it wasn't a full struggle. But oh my goodness me, how much of a change is it when you get a light pad? Not so much for Heaven and Earth Designs, because there's no symbol to light up from underneath, but yeah, I think I put off getting a light pad for far too long. So if you are quite new to diamond painting and you are wondering, do I, don't I? Yeah, you do. Put treating yourself to a light pad higher up than you may do for some other gadgets. So yeah, I put that off for far too long. I'm trying to think back to when I started diamond painting. So I ended up buying a partial off Amazon because I was impatient and wanted to see if I liked it, and then loved it and went straight to purchasing from AliExpress, and got a really big one, and I got a square one. So I don't know if I'd necessarily change that. I think limiting yourself to one company can sometimes, you know, limit maybe limit your knowledge, or limit your thought. But I mean, it's one of those, it's not wrong to stick with a company that you like and a company that you know, but I don't think you should necessarily scared away from new companies. I think a lot of it can depend on how much money you've got, you know, or how much the painting is. Like, nobody particularly likes to waste money. I suppose it's not, what I'm saying is, you know, get something from a company that's rubbish, but I do think sometimes people can pay over the odds. Goodness me, what's she doing in that room? Sometimes people can pay over the odds and stick to a company that may be good, but they're missing out on other good companies as well. I don't want that to sound... Was there anything else I'd change? I think there were a few things that maybe I've purchased. Like, I did the whole binder system for storing my spares before I ended up doing what I do now, which is the photo boxes. That binder system was a waste. It really was a waste. And the reason that one was a waste for me, it's not that it's not right for other people. It was a waste for me because some diamonds you just have so many. I mean, even the photo box system can't handle my blacks. Not without me dedicating a whole row just to black, just to 310. It can't handle it. A binder system even less. So there are still many colours that I have a fair few of, and it works in the photo box storage. I can keep the spares in there, and it doesn't matter if I've only got a few or if I've got loads. But in the binder system, you were limited to what would go in that pocket, and that was all you could store. And I just found that just didn't work for me. So that was something that, in effect, I wasted money on. Light pad, I would do, if I knew from the beginning, I would have got a magnetic charger, like I have now, like I posted in a recent video. I would get a magnetic charger, because I've lost one, and I've lost one light pad due to it, and I've got another one that is very temperamental due to the charger plug socket, so I would have saved myself money with that. Apart from that, there's nothing else that springs to mind that I would change. I think quite often people can panic about maybe whether they're doing it right. I don't think, unless you put the wrong colour on the wrong symbol all over your painting, I really don't think there is that much that you can do wrong, or hugely wrong. If you like to work on a small section, which means you're only placing a couple of diamonds each time, that's fine. If that's what makes you comfortable, then do it. It may take you a little bit longer than it may take somebody who works on a bigger section, but so what? I think people can sometimes panic that they're doing it wrong. Some people will do it all of one colour before moving on to another. Again, that's not wrong. I do it on some paintings, especially some of the smaller special shaped diamonds. I'll be like, oh, I'm going to do it by colour this time, and I'll just do all the colour. Now, I might miss some and I might have to go back, but it is what it is. You will find what works for you. If you have watched all of my Heaven and Earth design pictures, you'll see that I've changed the way I do this Heaven and Earth design 2 or 3 times. I've even changed the way I store the diamonds for it. Not so much from the cases and the bottles, that's always been the same. But I used to keep, you know, any excess or spares that I had, I used to keep them in with my normal spares. whereas I've now separated it. I used to work on a paper pattern, then I worked on a PDF reader, and now I'm working on Pattern Keeper. So, you know, you change and you evolve on tips and tricks that you find. And really, why there are a couple of things that I can say, I probably wouldn't have purchased that, or I wouldn't purchase from there again. I don't think I'd change it, because it's all part of the process and part of the craft, is figuring out what works for you. Yeah, so I think that answers that one. I don't know, I don't have any big revelation. I'm sorry. Okay, so done that one. Have you decided for yes? Okay, do you know why companies have multiple shops on AliExpress? No. I know quite a few companies do. So I know there's the Evermoment store and then there's the EM store. They're both Evermoment. I know Home Fun and Dispaint are also the same company. Huracan, I think they only have one store, but I know they do diamond paintings for a lot more others. So is it AZDSQ or something like that? They use Huracan canvases, or they are Huracan and they just print them different. And there are a few other companies that I think use their canvases. My educated or not educated guess on why is AliExpress is a bit like eBay. In the fact that it is different sellers, and some of them can be selling the same item. You know, and you can choose that there might be the same image sold by 4 or 5 different companies. So it's similar to eBay in that sense. But I don't think, because they all have a shop front, I don't think AliExpress allow them to have multiple listings of the same item in their shop. So for example, let's say they have a diamond painting of a dog. You know, it's a picture of a dog. It's a diamond painting picture of a dog. How many times did I have to say that? They're not allowed to, I don't think they're allowed to put a listing up for that same picture twice. I think that's why some companies, you may find that an image disappears and then comes back. I think they're revitalizing it in the search. So I don't think, like, for example, Dispaint can have that image twice, but they can have it on Dispaint once and on Home Fun once, which means theirs are coming up in that search for that picture more often. So they'll have 2 listings, whereas a company that doesn't have more than one store will only have 1 listing. Does that even make sense? Please let me know if it doesn't in the comments below, and I'll try and answer better next time. But that's my educated guess as to why they have more than one store, is so that they can have the same product shown more than once. And then when you search for a particular type of diamond painting or a particular image, the odds are that you will hit on their company more than you will on another company. That's my thought anyway. And I could be totally wrong. So if somebody does know, let me know in the comments below. Okay, storing completed diamond paintings. So I have seen this question asked. This has more been asked on my Facebook group, and I have tried to pinch a few, well, not so much pinch a few, you know, repeat a few that I see people asking on the group. If you want a quick answer, you know, that's the best place to go to ask anyway. Because sometimes if I don't reply, somebody else will reply and give you an answer. But I'll always try and repeat these questions in my WIP chats so everybody gets the answer. Yeah, it's storing completed diamond paintings. So I did a video the other week on storing diamond paintings that I've not yet done. So if it's poured glue, I'm happy with it being rolled up. If it's this sort of paperback, I prefer, if size allows, which this size doesn't, I prefer to store them flat, and I hang them up on trouser hangers. Completed ones, I tend to store them in an art folder, and the reason for that is that with my completed, I'm not as likely to, if I'm not framing them of course, or putting them up straight away, I will store them in an art folder because I'm not as likely to be handling them, which means they can pick up more dust and bits quicker. If I just put those on a trouser hanger on the back of the door, then they could end up, especially the round ones that have got glue in the gaps, they could end up getting dust and stuff picked up. So I tend to put them in a folder. I am thinking of looking, though part of me wants to be able to go a shop than just order off Amazon, ordering like an A2, is it A2? A3? No, I think it was A2 or A3 I was looking at, like a portfolio folder, you know, that's got loads of those plastic wallets but they're all integrated. I was thinking of getting one of those to be able to put the smaller paintings in, so the 30 by 40 or less, and having sort of a display book so that I can view them all. But yeah, storing completed ones, you can roll them up, though roll them up with the diamonds facing outwards. So like I have done here at the top, this is rolled, but the diamonds are facing outwards. If I had them facing inwards, they would be more likely to pop off because they'd be hitting each other. Sorry, I lost track where I was. Let me mount those on. So yeah, quite often an art folder, or even just, I know some people have just used, so get a box, a big box, you know, maybe see if a supermarket's got a big crisp box or something, and they've basically just used 2 pieces of cardboard, a big piece of box cardboard that just folds in the middle, and they put their paintings in between, and put that under their bed, so that can help you store them. You can use the trouser hangers, but I would be more tempted to have that hung in a wardrobe than to have it hung, thought my word was wrong then. Sorry, I'm not doing very well at multitasking today. Then hung on the back of the door like I've got. So at the minute my non-completed are hung on the back of the door, but I do go through diamond paintings quite quickly. Heaven and Earth design excluded, of course. But I can go through paintings quite quickly, especially the smaller ones. So having them hung on the back of the door, I'm quite often going at them and moving them anyway, so it doesn't really have a chance to gather a load of dust. So yeah, that's how I would store them. Either rolled up, diamonds facing outwards, which some of my bigger ones, that's how I store them. Quite a few of those ones that are finished and rolled outwards, I try and put back in a box, either the one it came in or the one another painting has come out of. So I've got a few Ever Moment boxes lined up. with diamond paintings in, and I find that that keeps them quite protected. So yeah, that's how I store my completed, and a few of them are just propped up, framed on my floor, but haven't actually made it to a wall. So there's that too. Sometimes if they're quite small and they've fitted in a nice IKEA frame, they just go in there. In fact, I think I've got one frame that's actually got two paintings in it, one behind the other. It was one I did ages ago, and I was trying to decide which of the images was going to go in my hallway, and then we decided to redecorate the hall. Sorry, my memory card saved. Yeah, so I've actually still got two paintings in a frame that never actually made it up, and I hadn't fully decided which one as well, so they're just back to back in a frame. But yeah, covered if possible, rolled up if too big, but again, covered in a tube or something if you can, is probably the best way to do it. If you've got the space to lie them flat, then just sandwich them between two big pieces of cardboard and tuck them under your bed. It'll keep them safe, and if I ever get to go in a shop again in my life, I'll be having a look at some folios or portfolios to store some diamond paintings in, or I may end up ordering off Amazon. I think I just need to do a bit more research on what is the best one. I'd rather spend a little bit more and get one that is nice. So if anybody does use those and have found a nice quality one, that even one that allows you to add to it would be great, then let me know. It's always helpful to pass on the knowledge. Okay, what else? So I think the main rest of, yeah, so the other thing that I had on my list were the likes of the Pattern Keeper app. I do get quite a few questions on it in general. I haven't had any for a while, but I just sort of wanted to, you know, touch base on it, so that was on my list, but I've sort of done that. About the spare diamonds I need, that was also on my list. So yeah, I don't really have any more questions that I think have been asked. I do try and answer most questions that tend to get asked on the group anyway, unless somebody's beat me to it, which quite often they do. So thank you all that answer people's questions, because it really does help. And I've just realised that diamond doesn't go there, it goes there. Move. So yeah, thank you to everybody on the group that helps answer other people's questions. It's so nice to see everybody, you know, posting what they've done, posting support, posting, you know, ideas of places they've got stuff, or, you know, just helping the newer people out and answering the questions. So thank you all for that. Sorry, I'm just get some of these marked off and have a little bit of a shuffle, because I've been sat in the same position for too long now. So yeah, what sort of, any questions you've got about anything, well, of course diamond painting related preferably, otherwise I'm probably not going to be able to answer it, unless it's about mobile phone insurance, and then I'd only know one company over another. But yeah, if you've got any questions, ask them below, and I will start compiling a list for my next WIP and Chat, which, as I say, may or may not be a Heaven and Earth Designs. It will depend. I think I want to mix it up a little bit. I am working at the moment on a round one, and I think sometimes it would be nice for people to be able to see me work on a round as much as working on this square. And even when I'm working on a square with the canvas, with the symbols underneath. sometimes I think it's nice for people to be able to see a bit of variety, so I'm probably going to mix it up a little bit. There has been a lot of questions recently about fan cells. Now, as many of you will know, I post unboxings from fan cells. They were kind enough quite a few months ago to ask me if I would like to unbox and, you know, showcase some of their items from their shop, and they were gifted to me, but I was allowed to choose what items. So it's always been my taste. It's something I always give an honest review for, whether I've paid money or whether I've been gifted it. You are going to get an honest review, and to be fair, I've not had any problems with fan cells. I think I had one item that I reviewed that wasn't quite as nice as some of the others, and I said it in the review. I'm not sure if that review's gone up yet or not. I can't actually remember what item it was, but there was something that wasn't quite as nice a quality as some of the others, but there has been a lot of questions about delivery times and stuff, of course, in the current situation. Now, I do know that mine took just over 3 weeks from when they shipped it, but I have heard from others that people have been getting them in within a couple of weeks recently, so I'm not sure if their postage option has changed or whether it's got a bit better. Somebody has asked whether I've had customs on fan cells. I haven't. I don't think I know of anybody that has. However, if you order over £15 worth into the UK, you do always run that risk, and it is nothing to do with the seller. It is our customs / VAT charges, mainly customs. It is our charges. It's the UK that decides that. Yes, it can depend on how the seller marks your package, but at the same point, if they undervalue the package when they send it to you, they are committing an offence. So it's not fair to ask or expect a seller to undermark the value that they're sending to you. And it is one thing that I do believe, yes, sometimes I get hit with customs. I have done mainly with things coming from America. I have been very lucky with stuff coming from China that I haven't so far. But if I did, it wouldn't stop me. You know, it's not the seller's fault. It really is not the seller's fault. It's the way the UK works. So I've not heard of anybody getting it from fan cells. They may have done. It is a risk that you run. But at the same point, I also don't pay for the items that I've had from fan cells. So I don't want you to base it on the fact that I've not had customs, because I'm not paying for the item. I don't think the seller has to, you know, that it can be declared as a gift because it is a gift. But yeah, that's been asked a lot. If for any reason, at the moment, I'm quite happy with the agreement that me and fan cells have. Occasionally they'll send me freebies. All they ask is that I do an unboxing. You guys seem to like the unboxing videos because they always get watched a lot. I don't have to do reviews on the paintings. That's not part of our agreement. Sorry, am I out of focus? I'm trying to work out if the camera's focused. Okay. It's not part of our agreement for me to do any sort of WIP and chat, any sort of boxing up, any sort of de-kitting, or even a review. That is something that I personally like to do for my channel. I like to be able to show you guys what a picture looks like when it's finished, if it's one that I've bought and unboxed. And that's my personal preference, because I think some people, I know they're not always as popular, which is why I tend to scatter them in my videos, but I think some people don't want to buy something until they've seen what it's like finished, and I can understand their caution. You know, some people don't want the disappointment, you know, it takes away something from them if they do a painting and it doesn't look how they expect. Some people just can't visualize it. Some people might not be able to afford to buy something that doesn't turn out right. Whatever the reason, and even though the videos aren't necessarily watched as much as other videos I put up, they're still watched. So I still want to have that option there for people. And as I say, it's never something that fan sales ask me to do. And if, you know, it became something between us that they were asking me to do something that I'm not comfortable with, or they were asking me to, you know, say that this product was great when actually I didn't like it, I'm not going to do it. And I would just stop accepting anything from fan sales. In fact, there is another company that did, so I don't know, I know there was, this company asked a lot of YouTubers all at once, and maybe fan sales have, I'm not sure. I do watch other diamond painting YouTube videos, but I don't watch as many as I'd like to. I don't get to see as many, so maybe there is a lot of people doing fan sales. But Victoria's Moon did contact a lot of YouTubers. I think it was the first company that contacted me and wanted to send me something. It was quite exciting for me. I won't disagree. It was quite exciting. It was a new thing for me as a YouTuber to have somebody offering to send me something. It was like, whoa, you know, bit mind-blowing. And then they offered to send me a paint by numbers, and I accepted that at the time. I would think, I'm not sure if when that arrived I was actually still working on the diamond painting. I think I might have been. When I accepted the offer, I think I was still working on the diamond painting. I know the unboxing came out way late, but that's because I thought it had been posted and it hadn't, and I'd lost the footage and all the rest of it. But they've since offered me something else. Apparently they have another site that does other stuff, and I've not accepted. And the reason being is I wasn't too happy really with the diamond paintings that I've had from them before. The Gorilla, that was sent to me as a thank you for doing the first one. That was okay, but I didn't think they were wow. And while some companies that I also of course buy the diamond paintings for, which is most of the ones I get, apart from fan sales, I buy them all. To me, it didn't seem fair to keep promoting, in effect, whether it was a free diamond painting or not. It didn't seem fair to keep getting free diamond paintings from Victoria's Moon and having them up on my channel when I didn't find them wow. To me, that didn't seem right. So fan sales is, I don't want to say it's a lower end company, because I don't necessarily think that's the way it is. They're a different style of company to maybe the likes of Evermoment and Home Fun that offer the square. You know, they offer it in multiple sizes. Fan sales don't offer that. Fan sales are more like everyday deals and CES deals. They're more along those lines. They have images, they're all poured glue, they're all a particular size, they're all a very fair and reasonable price, pretty much. Some of the stuff is a little bit higher than you could find somewhere else, but in general their price is pretty reasonable. I find them that sort of company, and I found that all the paintings that I've got from them have been great, and I've actually really enjoyed receiving parcels from them because it gives me snack paintings to do in between other stuff. I don't know if this has just turned into a full-on ramble about nothing, but yeah, there are companies that contact me that want to provide me with items to use my channel in effect to show off their product, and occasionally I will accept, but if I don't like either something I find out about the company later, or you know, if there's a lot of people complaining about a company, for example, I won't just go on one matter of opinion, but if it were to turn out that a lot of people had been let down by a company, or I didn't like the way their product was, or, you know, anything like that, then I would either not take them on, or I would stop working with them. I hope that turned into a right waffle. And I don't quite know if I had a point. I suppose that's just me wanting to explain to you guys why I do agree to work with fan sales, and why I feel at the moment it's right. Whether it will continue will a lot depend on the company, but at the moment I don't particularly have any reason to not work with them. All the paintings that I've got from them I've been happy with, and anything quite often that I'm not happy with is sometimes just a slight niggle, and it won't stop me buying from a company, so why should it stop me showing you guys stuff from a company? Does that make sense? Or am I talking gobbledygook? Yeah, so I suppose I just want to be transparent with, you know, what I get. So at the moment I am only in a partnership with, well, not even a partnership, I don't even know whether it's a partnership. I have done a few unboxings from fan sales. I think I've had 3 sets of diamond paintings from fan sales, and that has been them offering me and me being willing to accept. I have had offers from other companies. I have occasionally unboxed from another company, but then I may not have completed. So I think the 2 paint by numbers that I got, I've not completed. One of them I did try. I think it was Winnie's Picks. They contacted me. I thought, fair enough, actually, painting by numbers sounds quite nice. I struggled with that painting by numbers. I was in contact with the company about the struggles, and you know, their response was along the lines of, okay, that's fine, you know, we're not expecting you to complete it if you don't think you can. And it's like, okay, fine. And I'm not going to post a video to say, oh, I really struggled with this, and I really struggled with that, and I really struggled with the other, because I'm not a paint by numbers channel. So, you know, while I'm happy to say to you guys, if anybody asks me, how was your Winnie's Picks? I'm not going to go, oh yeah, you know, I'll be honest in that way, but at the same point, I'm not going to come on my channel and go, oh, this was really bad, because I'm not a paint by numbers expert at all. I haven't done it since I was tiny until I started this one, and it could be me that's made it bad. But at the same point, the Victoria's Moon diamond painting that I had, the big flower one, I was honest with you about that one, and what it was that I wasn't happy with, and that's the reason that I chose not to continue working with them, because it didn't work for me or you guys, I don't think. And yeah, I'm proper waffling on now. Right, what else have I got? Okay, I don't think I've got any other questions on there, so you guys are going to have to make sure that you put your questions in the comments box below, otherwise you will get me on a big ramble about nothing really in future videos. So if you like a good ramble, then don't post your questions. But hey, if you want answers for stuff, then pop the questions down below. Keep me busy, people, while I'm working on a diamond painting. Oh, and I just did all those and didn't mark them off. Okay, so I think I'm going to pause it there, because I've got loads of the next one I could do with going to the loo, and I think this video has already got to at least close to an hour, if not more. Yeah, ask your questions in the comments below. I'm happy to answer all that I can. Yeah, and then I'm sure I'll find something else to waffle about then. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you all again soon.